Hello everyone, this is Sally Harris, and today I want to talk to you about how to handle emotional triggers as a mom. So in the previous video, I talked about the 4 most common and kind of went through details of that. And so for those of you that are new here, I just want you to know that I believe that you as a mom deserve a support system and someone to walk alongside you during this difficult time that you're in. If you're watching this video, it's more than likely you are dealing with some type of issue with your adult child. Whether it's estrangement or maybe they're an addict, etc. There could be a million reasons why, but just want to let you know that this is something that I walked through myself for about 10 years and that I am here to support you. So let's get into this. So the triggers, the 4 most common triggers that I experienced, I mentioned in the other video, right? So today, let's talk about this. As far as number 1, people. So people can be very triggering, right? We know this. When someone is extremely toxic to you, your blood pressure goes up every time you're around them. These are people during this phase where you are trying to get yourself healthy in regards to your own life. These are people that we need to maybe step away from for a short time. It doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life completely, but you really need to put boundaries around these people for your own good. Not even necessarily because they're doing anything wrong. It's just for you, they're very triggering. And so you need to be mindful of that. You know, some of these people may not have any clue that they're even triggering you and they mean no harm. On the other hand, as moms, sometimes we feel like we need to keep up with the Joneses, right? Especially maybe our children's friends, families who seem to have it all together and don't seem to have any issues with their whether they were teenagers, young adults and into older adult children. So that's something that you need to be mindful of. And now those are some good examples of how to handle those emotional triggers when it comes to people. So the second one is places. You really need to trace your steps. You need to identify and figure out what your day looks like, right? So as far as places that you go, maybe it's like I mentioned in the previous video, for me, it was a store. That was one of my big ones. Something that you did together with your child that you're not doing together anymore. That could be very triggering for you. So those places are things that you need to think of, whether it's a park, a landmark, a place that you used to go for a walk, whatever that is, you need to switch that up. And so there's going to be a period of time where maybe you need to take a step back from those places. The third one is events. This can be really triggering, especially if you have a younger adult child, maybe even teenager, where maybe they're graduating high school, college, weddings, these types of things where other families seem to, like I mentioned, have it all together, which, mind you, we're all dysfunctional people and we all have dysfunctional families in some shape or form. So don't single yourself out on that. I know it can be hard. But these events, you need to be discerning. There's times, I can be honest, for me, when my daughter was not with us to graduate high school with her year, that she would have graduated with, that particular class, and I watched these other children thriving and making college plans and, really just kind of doing life, quote unquote, normal, right? What is normal anyway? But these events were very, very triggering to me. So I chose to not attend these graduation parties, even though we were invited. To be honest, I don't even remember if my husband went. He may have gone to some of them, but I stayed back. I knew that it was going to be very triggering for me, so I decided not to. So those are some examples of events that you might want to be mindful of. And lastly, number 4 is the time of day. Rearranging your routine is a good thing. So there's going to be times where you really, things are going to come to mind. Well, like I said in the other video, it could be early in the morning, it could be late at night, it could be right after work, it could be your lunchtime. Whenever you may have had conversations with your child, or maybe you typically would meet up or see each other or talk. If your situation has changed and you're not doing these things anymore and it's triggering you, then you need to make a change. Unless you want to feel stuck, right? We have the power in ourselves to be able to make these slight changes and these deviating the plan, even just a little bit, can make a huge difference. You know, these triggers are very real, and so you're not crazy. We all have them. And for people who don't even have children who have gone astray, you know, we all have triggers, whether it's around other family members or family or friends or whatever it is. So you're not alone in this. So it's just to be mindful of your people, your places, your events, and your time of day, and make those deviations that are good for you and that are going to help you do self-care. And we'll get into self-care in some future videos, because I think it's really important for moms. So I hope that helped. I will put a link to my calendar below, and you feel free to set up a time to chat if you're interested in one-on-one or group coaching. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.